series. I'm your moderator, Ron Aaron Eisenberg. Delighted to be here. We have a wonderful panel today. We've got a special look at ways in which breathing and movement can help us deal with stress in the world around us, help us deal with the impact of COVID-19, fear still over the coronavirus, and help us keep young and fit and healthy. That's quite a promise. And if you suffer from chronic pain, as millions of people do, it is a promise that can help you also reduce that pain. The virtual chronic pain series is presented by the nonprofit organization Global Pain Association. It's free. It's every Saturday through the month of May and June, and we invite you and your loved ones, anyone dealing with chronic pain or not, is welcome to join us. Today's topic, yoga and the importance of exercise. Scratch exercise, make it movement, and it is less intimidating. This is the third of a 9-part series, and we are here on the Global Pain Association Facebook page. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, share this. If you look down at the lower left, I believe it is, click that box to share and hit the appropriate button, and you can share this with all the friends who are on your Facebook page. And I want to take a moment to introduce a very special woman, a woman known across the city of San Antonio for her work, not only with sports and with the Sports Association. She's a member of the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame, is responsible for bringing the women's and men's Final Four to San Antonio, and they're coming again in 2022. It is a pleasure to introduce Dr. Susan Blackwood. Susan, nice to see you, and thanks, for your work putting the Global Pain Association together. Why did you think this was needed?
Well, Ron, first of all, thank you so much for moderating this and for the Eisenberg Group and your wife and bride for putting this on. It's been an incredible opportunity for us to reach out to the community because there are a lot of chronic pain patients and sufferers and their caregivers in San Antonio that need resources like this to help improve their life. We're trying to find alternative ways for them to manage their pain and give them hope. That's what we're about, hope.
And when you say hope, one of the struggles that folks with chronic pain have is they have difficulty finding something that relieves that pain. If they're using narcotics, prescribed medication, often some get in trouble with that medication, and you never get the right amount. You need more and more and more. And yet, as I understand it, the Global Pain Association is looking for alternatives to those medications, and you found some.
We've been offering these for about a year and a half, and these kinds of opportunities where people have access and things that are affordable for them are just out there for us to be able to provide from an explanation standpoint. The last 2 sessions that we've had, I think we've done an incredible job of explaining some of the myths about chronic pain. And today to have Terri and Nydia on talking about how important it is to exercise and move to be able to overcome some of the obstacles and the loneliness and some of the tolls that these chronic pain sufferers have in terms of their finances, their family, their emotions.
Well, you anticipated one of my questions was the financial impact of chronic pain. It doesn't just affect the person struggling, it's the entire family.
Absolutely. And everybody that loves them and works with them and cares for them is affected by this. And certainly we had a in-person seminar last year in September. It was very well attended. And I think this virtual series now is extending our opportunity to reach out and help more people. And I just want to say one thing, Ron. Now, Women's Final Four is in 2021.
Oh, I got you. A year later.
2022. And Men's Final Four back in 2025. So we're looking for lots of opportunities for San Antonio to have more visitors come back to our community.
And a lot of volunteers who can work with that program.
So true.
Well, that's great. Now, before we turn to our 2 great guests who will be on our panel, tell us a little bit about how folks can get involved. It certainly takes money to put these programs on. Nobody is paid. There's no staff. But what you're doing as volunteers still need the support. And for folks who want free information, it's on the bottom of the screen going across. But how else can they get involved?
Well, they certainly can go to our website. Those are the resources that we're providing in our social media platforms. But if they go to globalpain.org. Get involved, donations. Every little bit helps. And we're also looking for sponsors for this series. So they can reach us through that website and let us know if they'd like to sponsor part of the series, and so that people can know about some of these other programs, opportunities, and investments.
Well, I appreciate it. Susan, we're going to put you on hold. We'll come back to you in just a little bit toward the end of the program. And we thank you again for your work in helping to put this program and the Global Pain Association together and on the map. And I want to introduce our two panelists who are joining us today. We'll start with Nydia Darby, and you can reach Nydia Darby at nydiasyogatherapy.com. She is a doctor of physical therapy, specializing in orthopedic, neuromuscular, spine, and pelvic health, therapeutic yoga, a specialist and an educator in yoga, and cancer research investigator. She owns and directs Nydia's Yoga Therapy Studio and the Open Hand Institute right here in San Antonio, Texas. And you can learn more about it, as I said, at nydiasyogatherapy.com. Nydia, we'll let you say hi, and then we want to introduce Terri Boggess. So hi.
Hi, Ron. Thank you for having me on this. I'm so encouraged to be here.
Well, we look forward to hearing from you, and you're going to teach us how to breathe in just a few minutes. I look forward to that. I'm not going to hold my breath. Won't hold my breath until you do that. And let's bring on Terri Boggess, who is has a doctorate degree in education. She's a teacher, a coach administrator in public school and in university, a chair of exercise and sports sciences at St. Mary's University. And her teaching interests include holistic wellness and embodied spirituality. And let me say hi to Terri Boggess. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you.
I want to start with Terri, as long as we got you up on the screen. Tell us a little bit about what holistic wellness is all about.
Well, holistic wellness is really going to be a compilation and a coming together of all of the things that you all have listed as individual presentations to the group. So holistic wellness is not about, do you exercise, do you do this? But the question is, how do we bring all of that together within our bodies so that everything is working synergistically to create holistic wellness and wholeness?
And one of the things you taught me the other day is that the word exercise is a negative word.
It can be for some people. And honestly, before I address that, I want to set two principles, two truths out there for the group of people watching. That first of all, we were created to move.
Yeah.
Everything in our body wants to move. And think about it, we're moving, especially with our breath, which we're going to get a really great introduction to during the night. So we move all of the time. So our bodies were designed for that. And the other thing that I want to really share with the people that have chronic pain is that our bodies, we get frustrated with them and we it's like, oh, come on. But our bodies are always moving towards healing. We know that from having a little cut on our finger, and overnight we see healing. And so this whole notion of healing and moving are all in the same, it's all connected, and it's all interconnected within our bodies, but also within our bodies and nature and other human beings and this entire universe.
You mentioned nature, and I'm looking at the two of you. I'm thinking about trying to get away from that saber-toothed tiger who's hanging outside my cave, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so with the exercise, it's like exercise is run by the brain. You got to have this time, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to have this stuff, you got to do it for this long. Whereas if we focus on moving, then people can feel more comfortable. They can get it's like, okay, I might be able to do that. I can't do it. But all our bodies need from us is to recognize movement. And pain has this tendency to constrict the body. But as we're going to learn, especially with our breath, that is the first and foremost things that Nydia is going to teach us. That opens our body and it expands so that it can then receive all of the kind of goodness and things that happen within our own body's attempt to heal.
Well, let's start with Nydia before we do the demonstration. We'll do that in a couple of minutes, but we've got a few more questions we want to put to the two of you. And one is, Nydia, you teach yoga, you practice yoga, you live yoga. You're talking to us from your yoga studio, which is beautiful, by the way.
Well, thank you.
How often should folks, whether it's yoga, whether it's running, whether it's using weights, whatever it is, how often should we get our body moving every week?
Well, just as Terri was mentioning, we should move our bodies. And as you ask, how often, we should be mindful to move our bodies every day and do anything every day. Now, at minimum, if we are thinking from a structured perspective, that brain that likes to plan things, then at minimum, if those of us who need to plan, at minimum 3 times a week, you should get out there and you should gently break a sweat. You should walk, you should stretch, you should do something. But truly, if you get out of that left brain mentality of to-do list and just get into the right brain mentality where you can say, this feels good, and honoring and cherishing movement for what it really is. And we should do it every day.
Now, for folks who are struggling with pain, mostly driven by arthritis, as our guest last week, Dr. Pendleton Wickersham, pointed out, it seems counterintuitive. Hey, Terri, Nydia, it hurts when I move, so why should I move? And the answer is, right.
Yeah.
The answer is
the most common complaint that I hear as well. I agree. I think many individuals hear that. It hurts to move, and I don't want to do that. I'm afraid to make it worse. And this is where what I'm going to be sharing with us today about how we can start with the most natural part of breathing, what we were born with, how that's going to help to facilitate a very gentle introduction or reintroduction to gentle movement, mindful movement, that can then get the nervous system to calm down, to encourage then, hey, that felt pretty good. Well, maybe I'll do a little bit more.
I'm thinking about women who are pregnant and how that little fetus in there seems to be moving all the time, right? So we are born moving, are we not?
We really are. The nervous system, don't get me started because I could have us for 2 hours here about how the nervous system works. But ultimately, it is about survival. But once we know that we feel safe, and this is where breathing comes in really handy because it helps to calm the nervous system, to encourage a feeling of safety. Once we know that we feel more comfortable, then what happens is the brain and the nervous system is able to attend to the more important aspects that bring us healing and well-being, blood and circulation and energy to our organs in our body systems. And so it's just a really neat cascade.
Now, one of the challenges, and I think it's really neat that we are doing this series throughout May and June on pain and a virtual program on how to help people deal with pain, is because of the COVID-19, the coronavirus. Most folks are still spending most of their time at home. For folks who are 65 and older, they're told don't go anywhere, be safe, stay home. And so we're able to show in this program today, for example, that you can do things at home that qualify as movement, right?
Yes, definitely.
And we're going to have a little example here from Nydia on the kind of movement that makes a difference. These virtual classes, by the way, if you think about it, Terri, may become the new normal. In fact, I've got a good friend who is one of the founding board members for the Global Pain Association, Dr. Lynn, who will tell you that what was the old normal is not the new normal, and we may never have the old normal again.
That's right. And one of the things that we know that is important to continue to be vibrant and living is change. So being able to adapt to change is incredible. So consequently, when we're in our house, I'm, by the way, in that group that's not supposed to go anywhere. So it's like you can do all kinds of things, walking around your house, walking up and down some stairs. You can do some things. My daughter Caitlin and I did an online belly dance class last night, and it was a blast. And so you can turn your own music on. You can do your own dancing. You know, Gloria Estefan is always happy to help you through a little housework or little things. And as long as you get your body moving, and then when you do that, you can't help but smile. And so when someone is smiling, that also helps relieve stress. It helps your heart rate lower. It helps all kinds of things. So we have in our own bodies the power to really, really help us heal.
Now, before we do our demonstration, I want to come back to something that Dr. Wickersham also mentioned, because most folks, not all, most folks have become, because of all the tools in our lives, couch potatoes. I was laughing before we began the program today. I caught a TV commercial that shows now they have blinds on windows where you can automatically put them up and down and open them and close them. You know, how tough is that to go close your blinds? So you never leave the couch. You got the TV remote, you got the blind remote. Pretty soon you're going to have a refrigerator remote where it brings you what it is you want, and we'll never have to move again.
Oh, goodness.
When I said to Dr. Wickersham, hey, look, Doc, you know, there's so many folks who if you ask them to get up and move and exercise, they'll say, I don't know if I can do 2 minutes.
Right.
His answer was perfect. What was his answer?
Do 2 minutes.
Exactly. Exactly. And then do 3, and then maybe 5,
Right.
until you get it up a little bit.
And
Right.
take your time
Yeah.
increasing. There's no rush to
Yeah.
increase. Start with 2, stay with 2, keep with 2, and then eventually make it 2.5, and then you go from there.
Well, we're going to learn how to breathe now, and we're going to have a chance with Nydia giving us an example of how to practice breath and breathing. And of course, if you take a look at some of the literature now on mindfulness, they're often tied together with the whole question of breathing. And I noticed, Nydia, you did that very quickly. You got into your breathing posture.
I did. Thank you very much. One of the things that's important, if you can, when you're going to do your breathing exercises, you can either lie down if that is more comfortable to you, but you can do this sitting upright and optimally in a position where your spine is lengthened and tall. I'm sitting on the floor and I've got a blanket underneath my bottom so that I can be propped up. But if you're sitting in a chair, then you can sit with your feet well anchored into the mat or into the floor, and your hands just resting. They can just rest gently on your thighs. When you begin your breathing activity, you will hear me ask everyone to attempt to breathe through your nose with your mouth closed. Now, if that's not comfortable for you, then at any time, breathe as it's most comfortable. When we do breathing exercise or activities, listen to the sensation of the breath and make certain that you are not feeling anxious or upset or irritated with the breathing. If that is happening, then just come back to your normal pace, and then again, maybe later on, try again. So that's for your information. So we're sitting tall and hands are relaxed, mouth closed. Just allow yourself to settle into the position that you are in. And feel the breath moving in and moving out of your body. And let yourself settle into your position, bringing your awareness, your attention, to that feeling of your breath. And I'm going to bring my hands onto my abdomen. And with my hands on my abdomen, and I'll encourage you to place your hands on your belly, on your abdomen. Mouth closed, feel the sensation that when you inhale, the belly might rise and expand outward. And when you exhale, the belly might fall and relax down. Inhale, belly rising, expanding outward. Exhale, the belly drops, falls in. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, relaxation. Inhale, expansion outward. Exhale, keep breathing. Inhale, some of us would place a hand on our chest. Exhale and feel how not just the belly but the chest moves too. Inhale, expansion gently outward. Exhale, very gently dropping down. Inhale, expansion outward. Exhale, now continue to feel that sensation. Inhaling, expanding. Exhale, everything dropping. Inhale, expanding outward. And exhale. Now, as you are sitting, resting, breathing, just recognize the feeling of this relaxation. As you begin to practice this, I hope that you might practice this on a daily basis. 10 breaths, 20 breaths, whatever feels good to you. And now when you're ready, just relax your arms down. Just allow yourself to come back into the moment and notice how you feel. We can reduce our anxiety, we can reduce our sensation of stress by just taking a moment or two for 5 or 10 breaths. So gentle, and it can be very, very valuable to your long-term well-being. That's all you have to do. What do you think, Ron? Will this work?
It will work. I want to make sure my mic is on. Now I'm live. I wanted to ask you, I've taken some yoga classes, and I've actually, other than I'm as stiff as a board, I found it fun to do, interesting to do, incredibly relaxing. And no matter who the instructor is, there is always that comment about be in the moment. What does that mean?
You know, it's very interesting, and I'm glad you bring that up. That nervous system that is reigning everything that we do, when we start to be in our normal day, you know, many of us can identify with the fact that we're always thinking about what we need to do, what we didn't do, planning, regretting, but we're never here, present. And being in the moment is about just cutting off future, past, and being here. Now, how do we do that? This type of breathing exercise is one of those activities. This mindful awareness is part of that. And so those of you who practiced with me a moment ago, you may have been focusing on trying to breathe, that it would made it difficult for you to think about anything else. This is mindfulness. This is being in the moment. And when you are practicing, even for a little while, being in the moment, like breathing and mindful activities, then what it does is it calms and soothes your nervous system. And it helps for energy to come from the brain to your vital organs to encourage your long-term well-being. And that's the benefit. That's the magic, if you want to call it that. But it's the way we were designed.
Well, I thank you for that, and I want to thank both you and Terry. Thank you so much, Terry Boggess. It was fascinating, and we look forward to getting together with both of you again. You will now be forever enshrined in the series of Global Pain Association virtual classes. These will all be up on the Global Pain Association website and Facebook page. And for those who want to go to Facebook and download them, they can revisit and learn to breathe every day if we want to do that. So thanks to both of you. I appreciate that. Now, I want to remind viewers that you're looking at the Chronic Pain Education Series. It's brought to you by the Global Pain Association. We're here every Saturday at noon in May and July. Say hi to Kennedy, my twin, who is just turned 7 years old. Thank you, Kennedy. And there he goes. he can move. If you'd like to learn more about the organization, just send us questions. Email info@globalpain.org, info@globalpain.org. And we have brought back, we had her on the ice chest, we brought her back now on camera, and it's great to see Susan Blackwood again. Dr. Blackwood is the genius behind the Global Pain Association. She and Dr. Ellen Lynn and others have come together to make what is just a wonderful organization. And Susan, remind us again how GPA, the Global Pain Association, can help folks overcome chronic pain.
Well, we want to be accessible and affordable to everybody, Ron. So that's why we started Global Pain Association. It's all free to people that want to follow us and be a part of our organization. But we still need support to be able to put on series like this and activities in the future. So people want to help us. We take a donation at globalpain.org/get-involved/donate. Or if they would like to sponsor part of this series, which everybody is following now on a consistent basis, we'd love to talk to them about a possibility of having a segment on whatever the sponsorship would involve.
And these series will be available on the Global Pain Association Facebook page if folks want to pick up something they may have missed.
Absolutely. And I'm still breathing in here over here with Nydia. So I just want to thank both she and Terry for giving us their time and resources. They've both done a lot for the organization, and we appreciate everything that they will do in the future.
Well, I want to thank you. And Susan, congratulations on being so adaptive and flexible, going from what originally had been a hands-on, everybody in a room together event to now a series of events every Saturday, May through June. And that's a pretty neat way to adapt to the new COVID-19 world in which we live. Thank you.
Well, Ron, I've told everyone, and I'm going to say it again, we could not have done it without the Eisenberg Group putting this together. So we're very, very grateful, and we'll continue to hopefully be a resource for people during the rest of this month and next month, and then we'll see what this brings.
Well, I appreciate that. And let folks know what's coming up next Saturday, May 23rd. And this is a really cool topic. I talked to someone the other day. We can be frank, right? We can talk eye to eye. A lot of folks are suggesting that you've heard of the freshman 10 when you go off to college. Well, a woman I know put up a note on Facebook who said she's not sure that once COVID-19 is in control, we are able to move about more and get out of the house. She's not sure whether to go to AA or Weight Watchers first. Well, let me tell you, where you need to go first is right here to the Global Pain Association virtual clinic, because next Saturday, May 23rd, nutrition with dietitian Annette Gittinger. You won't have to miss this. You don't want to miss this. It's going to give you a tip or two or three or more on how to get a handle on what for many has been stress eating over the last many weeks, locked at home. If you, like the Eisenbergs, have little kids at home, we've got twin boys who are 7, just turned 7, and a little girl who's 8, and we've been homeschooling. Wow. Whatever we pay elementary school teachers, it's not enough. I can assure you. Stress comes in all kinds of forms. That's one. We're going to help you next week as we talk about nutrition and how to deal with it. Every Saturday in May and at noon on the Global Pain Association Facebook page. You can see us there. Thank you to Terry and to Nydia and to Susan and to all the others who help make GPA what it is. We'll catch you again next week. I'm Ron Eisenberg. We'll talk with you soon right here on the Global Pain Association Facebook page. Have a great day, everybody.